Hey guys, Dylan here, and I decided to do a video on some of my favorite shonen anime. Up next is coming up into the 10th spot. Okay. Up next is Gurren Lagann, however you want to say it. Which this story is against a lot of these I have not watched in a while, but Gurren Lagann is about these characters, about the human race being underground, being kept underground by these other, I forgot what they're called, these machines, these aliens, or whatever they were called. God, I can't believe I'm forgetting. I'm not good with remembering when it comes to anime, unless it's like ones that I've really dug deep into. Because apparently it wasn't this one. But the main characters, whether it's Simon, however you want to call it, and Kamina, are able to get their way out by using a mech that decided to be called Gurren Lagann, and able to drill their way out. And the whole premise of them, I don't know, the summer's going way out of it. I'd say just go watch it, or go look up the summary, because it's hard for me to explain this one. Because a lot of stuff goes on. Up next is High School DD, or High School DxD, however you want to say it, but it's been known to be actually pronounced High School DD. This one is easier to explain because I've watched like a recent season of it. There is a pervert named, God damn it, I forgot the name. Issei. The protagonist name is a pervert named Issei, who goes on a date with a girl who ends up being a fallen angel and kills him, but is revived by Rias Gremory, a devil, making him now a devil, and now he's in a harem, basically. There is a good story of like a romance blooming between Issei and Rias, which finally started to get more focus in this newer season, but there's a lot that goes on with these different seasons. But I will tell you this: extremely ecchi. There's definitely nudity, unless you find a censored version. So this one is definitely rated a like MA. No doubt it's rated MA. Okay. This next one is another one that I kind of watched early on, Blue Exorcist, which involves the Ren and Yukio Okumura, whose father is basically Satan, and it involves these two worlds, where we are I forgot where the human world is. It's called, but I know like the demon world is called Gehenna. And it's kind of like, and basically whenever Ren is found out to be, like, his demon powers start awakening, I guess you could say. Satan takes a hold and possession of his foster father. I forgot, God, I'm forgetting all these names, I'm sorry. But takes hold of his foster father to try to bring Ren back to Gehenna through the Gehenna gate. Oh, he has a special sword that's supposed to keep his powers sealed. But once he opens it, all his powers come flooding back out, and then they're subdued whenever he whenever he sheathes the blade back up. But he uses that blade to destroy the miniature gate that Satan made, trying to bring him down. But it was not able to save his foster father. And so he vows, and I just love this from the English dub, one of my favorite lines, of Ren telling the person who is basically the headmaster of this academy that on the daytime it's like a normal academy, on the other side it's like at nighttime it's like an exorcist school. But Ren vows to beat the shit out of Satan. And I just love that line from the dub. Anyway, that's basically the premise of what it is, and he has to keep his secret from his friends of him being a demon, because otherwise they would all think of him as he doesn't want them to think of him as a monster and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Up next is One Punch Man. Now this one a lot of people have heard of, even if they're just starting into anime now. It's one that's probably very easily known, at least, even if they haven't watched it. One Punch Man basically is about a person named Saitama who just wants to be a hero for fun, but is extremely overpowered, and he's bored because he can only defeat people with one punch. Because he actually wants a challenge, so it's just like boring every time something happens for him. And it just goes with him trying to be a hero for fun. That's basically the premise of it. The whole premise of it is just that. I mean, yes, there's like a whole government agency for heroes, but the main premise is that Saitama is a bored wants to be a superhero for fun, but he's bored because he is way too overpowered. That one, real quick to explain. Okay, up next is Attack on Titan, which this is again one that everyone has at least probably heard of, if they haven't watched it. Now this has to do with humanity being being pushed to the brink by these creatures called Titans, who are like giant humanoid shaped creatures who basically eat humans. And it revolves around three main characters: Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. I actually don't like when people call her Mikasa. I know there's jokes made for it, but people actually just call her as Mikasa. I'm like, it's called Mikasa. But anyway, that's just a little pet peeve that I have about that. But it's basically Eren vowing to destroy all the time so he can experience the world outside the walls that are basically trapping them in, which are trying to protect them from these Titans. And that's all I'm going to say for it right now. Okay, now we're up to my top 5. My top 5 favorite shonen anime. Number 5. 7 Deadly Sins. Now this one is a series that's about someone in a government framed these groups of people called the Seven Deadly Sins, saying that they killed this one person, making them criminals. And basically the first season is all about rounding most of them up and trying to stop these kind of want to clear their name a bit and stop this person from, what was it, summoning the Demon Clan back. By the way, by season 2, you'll find out that that failed. Just saying. And the reason I really like this show is because it has a mix of like the comedy and action that the main protagonist Meliodas has, because he's a freaking pervert, and he's able to put it in any comedic situation, whether it's an action situation, he's able to put it through comedically. But there's also like a bunch of secrets for a bunch of these characters as well, that some are revealed in this second season, Revival of the Commandments. And I really recommend giving this one a watch. Number 4, My Hero Academia. Now this one is sort of newer. I forgot when it started. 20... It's having the 3rd season right now. The 2nd season was last year. Season before that... Was it 2016? 2016 or 2015? Around sometime around that is when it started. But it revolves around the character Midoriya, nicknamed as Deku, and he vows to be a hero like his. I should probably start with the setting. And it's a world where everyone is born with some type of power, or as they call it, quirks. Some useless, some very useful when it comes to being heroes. And poor Deku was born without one. He really wanted to be a hero like his idol, All Might. And it goes through like a bunch of stuff about friendship as well. Another one that's about friendship, that has like a friendship plot to it as well. But he's able to gain a quirk because of All Might's quirk, of what All Might's actual quirk is, being able to transfer his quirk to someone else. So I ended up training Deku to make sure he's built enough to be able to withstand the power of it, at least 5% of it, so he can be able to enter the UA Academy for Heroes. And it just goes through of him trying to work his ass off, trying to try and be a hero. Up next, number 3, Assassination Classroom. Now this one, I almost cried at the end. I don't cry to I've never cried to any anime. I've come close to some like Anohana and Assassination Classroom, Clannad a little bit. Not as much as Anohana, but Clannad, Angel Beats, the typical ones that are supposed to make you cry. I almost cried. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't cry. I get close though. Anyway, Assassination Classroom has one of the weirdest concepts of a creature who is actually, when he says that he's actually a human, called Koro-sensei, which everyone just calls Octopus or Koro-sensei. Because that's what he looks like. He's just a yellow blob with tentacles. Nothing can hurt him except certain types of weapons. And he vows to destroy the Earth by the time these kids in this classroom graduate. But in the meantime, he teaches them. He actually helps them, because it's a class. It's a class where they're like rejects and people who who are shown as a model of what not to be and that kind of stuff to other people in the school. Basically, they're made fun of and all that stuff, and it kind of is a touching story as well at the same time as action. Because well, it's not just them that's trying, because all the kids in there are supposed to be trained as well to be assassins to kill Korra Sensei before he destroys the Earth. But there are also other people who are trying to destroy him as well. And some of the kids don't want him to be destroyed yet because they want to learn, because they're wanting to be able to graduate, be able to do what they want with their life. I know what they want to do with their lives, that kind of stuff. It's just a really amazing concept for a story that was definitely one of my favorites for not just shonen but of all time. Number 2, Fairy Tail. I also don't really need to do any summary for this, but because I've done videos for Fairy Tail before, but Fairy Tail is in a world where most people have magic. Not everyone, but most people have magic, and some of them create guilds, which is what Fairy Tail is. Fairy Tail is a magic as a wizard guild, and they're supposed to like help people and all that. And the premise is following this story of this guild and all the shit that it goes through because of other people. And it also revolves around the main character, Lucy. Yes, and for people wondering, Lucy is supposed to be the main character, not Natsu. Because she's supposed to be like the narration for this whole thing. Then Natsu is kind of like but it's kind of put now as like Natsu being like a co-protagonist at the same time. But it involves them getting into let me just put it this way, this is one of the biggest friendship is power anime out there. And this was actually my #1 favorite anime for quite some time. But it actually dropped down to, I think, number 3 now. Because my #1 now is Darling in the Franxx, which I don't think it's shown. Is it? Let me know if it's shown in the comments. If Darling in the Franxx is shown in the comments. Otherwise this list would have been wrong. Anyway, okay, because this #1 is one that I finished recently, Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter, but it's officially called Hunter x Hunter. You don't say the X in it. And this revolves around Gon Freece, who is trying to become a hunter and is trying to find why his dad became a hunter and is trying to find his dad. That's basically the premise of the anime. It's just Gon trying to find his dad, and he gets into all kinds of trouble along the way. That's literally all it is. But I don't know. It just has such a good way of like introducing characters, but they're not like put off to the side. A lot of them are come back, which is very rare for an anime to do, as far as I know, where they have introduced a character, they go away for a bit, but then they come back for the plot for that arc. Like the 3 friends he has, Leorio, Kurapika, and Killua. He ends up being more the one who hangs out with him the most throughout this whole thing is Killua. But even though that's the case, Leorio and Kurapika do come back eventually in certain arcs. So they bring back. So this anime brings back characters that were shown that people would have thought they were just they just forgot about them. But no, next arc comes, they all of a sudden just pop back up, and I just really like how they just did that. And I don't know, I just really love this anime. This one for sure recommend. It's a guarantee to watch, and because it actually made me feel sad for a villain who I just actually who I ended at first was despising. I hated the person, and then I ended up liking them toward the end of the arc. Anyway, that's all I have for now. If you enjoyed the video, why not consider subscribing for more content? I will see you in the next video. Bye.